Hello, and welcome to the New York Elder Law Risk Detector Training, a project of the Center for Elder Law and Justice. This project is supported through a cooperative agreement with the U.S. Department of Justice, Office of Justice Programs, Office for Victims of Crime Award 2017 VFGX K135. The opinions, findings, conclusions, or recommendations expressed in this project are those of the authors and do not necessarily represent the official position or policies of the U.S. Department of Justice. My name is Erin Riker, and I am the Center for Elder Law and Justice's technology-based legal services attorney.
My name is Melissa Woods, and I'm an accounting paralegal at the Center for Elder Law and Justice. What is the New York Elder Law Risk Detector? What we have created is a web-based legal health checkup tool that allows medical personnel, social workers, and other allied professionals to screen older adults for common legal issues, including housing, healthcare, consumer abuse, and financial exploitation. By simply following the link, you have access to this tool and you're able to use it on any device that has internet service.
There were 4 goals for the New York Elder Law Risk Detector. The first goal is preventative legal care. Traditionally, lawyers are seen as firefighters because clients don't come to us when there is an emergency, such as an eviction or a collections action that has proceeded to court. But what if we could also find out why the older adult is being evicted or detect the underlying legal problem before it leads to an emergency? The phrase, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, is just as clear in the legal field as it is in the medical field. If we are able to detect legal risks before they become legal emergencies, it results in cost savings and less headaches for our clients. The second goal is to adopt a holistic approach to caring for older adults in general. To support aging in place, a holistic approach to the assessment of older adults' well-being and health is needed, and legal services are a crucial component to elder care. The availability of legal services is linked to the health of older adults, such as in a study of elder abuse and mortality, those who reported elder abuse had a mortality rate 2.3 times higher than those who did not report abuse. Reporting elder abuse means that there are elder legal needs that were not being addressed that led to the abuse happening. And if we can find those legal needs and address them before they become emergencies, then we can do a lot towards improving the health and well-being of older adults. And now I'm going to turn it over to Melissa again to discuss the third and fourth goals for the Elder Law Risk Detector.
When we created that risk detector, we really wanted to start fostering partnerships with non-legal service organizations. We wanted to help our community partners, those who are meeting with older adults and people in the community, the ability to issue spot and assist clients remotely. This is increasingly important due to COVID-19. Also, Americans do not always recognize problems as legal issues or that problems have legal solutions. So many of the services that we provide here at the Center for Elder Law and Justice are advocacy-based services. We also wanted to let other groups in the area know what we do. We can't expect that everybody knows each service that we provide and knows all of our departments. So we really wanted to make sure that we were able to help other service organizations understand the types of cases we handle and the types of cases we take in here at CELJ. We really wanted to provide our community partners with an easy way to make a referral from anywhere. They do not need to be face-to-face with the client to run through the New York Elder Law Risk Detector. They're able to conduct this interview while over the phone or at their computer after they've met with the client. So we really wanted to make sure that these reports got to us as quickly as possible instead of relying on somebody to make a call and call other agencies looking for assistance. We also wanted to remove the stigma of working with an attorney. Again, so much of what we do here at CELJ is advocacy based, and we wanted to make sure that people knew that they could work with an attorney without having to go into court, without being referred by the court, that we could provide assistance and supports to them with our legal services organization. We also wanted to further narrow or close the justice gap. And that's how we're doing it with technology. We're using technology to accomplish this goal. It is increasingly important that we are able to reach clients that are homebound, in rural areas, or who may not have been aware of our services. Right now, as we've seen, older adults are experiencing poverty for the first time, and they do not know all of the free services that are available, and they are being bombarded and overwhelmed with information. Courts are moving to a virtual format, and clients may not be able to be connected to services in a timely manner once they reopen. We want to make sure that we are able to assist clients quickly and effectively, and without having to extend any waiting periods once the courts do reopen.
Remote services are increasingly important due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Most community agencies are operating either remotely or with very limited office hours, including limited ability to meet with clients in person. Screening tools such as the Elder Law Risk Detector provide direct access to our services. Like Melissa said, they can be used if you're on a phone with a client or receive a referral by email. These referrals can be made outside of traditional office hours. Anytime the internet is open, our screening tool is open as well. And the tool can be used on any device with internet access. If you have your smartphone and you are working from home, you can use the Elder Law Risk Detector, the same as if you were at a computer at a desk or with a laptop at a remote site or at an outreach event. Anywhere you have the internet, you have our remote screening tools.
So we're going to talk about how the New York Elder Law Risk Detector works. And then we'll run through it later on in the presentation. So the social worker uses the app as a guide for an interview with an elderly client. It does not mean that they have to go through every statement within the tool itself, but it does give, conversation guides and key points, which we'll demonstrate later in the presentation, to have that discussion with clients about risks that they may be facing regarding housing, healthcare, consumer debt, financial exploitation, and elder abuse. The app uses algorithms to assess those risks and then generates a detailed risk assessment report. Once that report is generated, it is emailed to the Center for Elder Law and Justice, and it's emailed to whomever created that report, and we follow up with that client as warranted. So the first step in order to get this off the ground was to engage community partners and train them on how to use the app, which we've been doing in this presentation is a continuation of that. So our community partners can refresh their staff on how to use the tool. We really want to focus on the interview when we run through it. We want to make sure that it's conversational and thorough. We're really relying on our community partners because older adults tend to trust them, and we want to make sure that we're obtaining information from a trustworthy source. Again, the focus on this is critical at this point because it really can be conducted without the need for an in-person visit. Who's been using this tool? Local offices for the aging in surrounding counties, adult protection services, senior housing and rehab facilities, ombudsman program, Catholic charities. Any professional who comes into contact with the senior community has been using this tool, and we can train them on how to use the tool to further assist their community.
During the interview, the app uses branch logic, which means the questions are determined by the previous answers. If you answer a specific way to a specific question, additional questions may pop up, or if you answer a different way, it may skip you to the next section. The express version of the tool functions more like a checklist, whereas the standard version is a bit more comprehensive. Neither version takes more than 15 to 20 minutes to complete. Both versions cover risks of problems related to housing, consumer debt, healthcare, financial exploitation, and elder abuse. The updated New York version has been streamlined recently to increase efficiency and ease of use. And like we said, the app uses the algorithm to assess the risks that the client faces regarding housing, consumer debt, financial exploitation, elder abuse, and healthcare, as these are the most common problems that seniors might have that might lead them into legal trouble. What you're seeing here is an example of a screen for the housing section of the risk detector tool. When you select an answer, a text box appears to provide more detail, as well as options to select how urgent the problem appears to be. For example, here you'll see regarding housing, are any of these statements true? The agency partner checked, I may have signed papers regarding my home, but I do not know what I signed. The text box appears to provide any detail that helps you understand the housing problems, such as if you know who made you sign the papers or if you know when they were signed. And then it says, based on the client's statements and your observations, whether you're not sure if they need help, you think they need help, or they think they urgently need help. This helps us to triage the problems and see where they may be at as far as their journey toward possibly having legal problems in the future. Step 3 is CELJ's follow-up. Like we said, the app generates the detailed risk assessment report. It emails it to the social worker or community partner that did the assessment in the first place, and it emails it to legal staff at our agency, which follows up with the client as warranted. The system itself does not provide legal advice, and its use does not form an attorney-client relationship between any parties. However, it does generate the report and emails it to CELJ for appropriate handling. Regardless of the risk level, CELJ will follow up within 2 business days and may follow up sooner if that's appropriate. Appropriate handling may include full representation, brief advice and counsel, or at the bare minimum, an assisted referral. Full representation or brief advice and counsel may form an attorney-client relationship between CELJ and the older adult if the older adult wants it. A follow-up email will be sent by a paralegal from CELJ when we receive the risk assessment report.
So over the years, these are the common issues that we've seen, as Erin indicated, that have been addressed by the risk detector. The majority of the cases that we have seen come through have been in the areas of housing, consumer, elder abuse, and healthcare. However, we do also answer questions about pooled trust, income maintenance, any issue that comes up within that report. If it's something our agency handles, even if it wasn't specifically identified, we're able to assist people with multiple issues through the risk detector. But this screen does show that it detects the areas in which we're looking to assist seniors in the community. All right, and now we're going to go through a test run of the app. When you start using the risk detector, this is what the homepage will look like. It'll say New York Elder Law Risk Detector. Please feel free to use this and take this app for as many test runs as you would like. Just make sure that we know that you'll see where you can enter in the client's information, that it is in fact a test. We really do try to respond to these reports as quickly as possible. And if you want information about our office, we did partner with Pro Bono Net and JASA to downstate to come up with this and kind of make these changes. We are going to begin interview with the client. You're going to be working with CELJ. And this is where you're going to enter your information, not the client's name. And that's because we do want to make sure if there's any issues, we can follow up with you directly or your organization, and we can respond to you by email as well. We are going to go through the Express Risk Assessment. We do encourage you to go back and take the standard assessment for a spin. It does have some additional follow-up questions, but I wanted you to get a feel for the types of questions that both versions ask for. It does say that the standard risk assessment takes between 15 to 20 minutes. Our community partners have told us it can take anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes if they're uploading documents or entering in additional notes. But the express version does take between 5 to 10 minutes. So first, you're going to enter your client's contact information, their first and last name, their age, how they identify their gender, their phone number. If it's okay to leave a voicemail message from our office. If they have an email, some clients may want to be contacted by email, and their address. We're not asking for additional demographic information. We do ask for their household income annually, that can be estimated. And we do ask that if they rent or own their home. This is the most important piece to fill out in terms of the client information other than a valid contact number, because housing questions will generate based upon whether or not someone owns or rents their home. Again, you know how to interview a client, so feel free to rephrase in your own words, provide inputs below based on what the client says during your meeting and your observations and interpretations of the client's situation. So we selected that our client was a renter. So we're going to be asking someone, are you current with your rent? Have you received any notices from your landlord? Are you getting the services you need? Do you feel safe in your home? And we're asking these things again in terms of overall safety, like a legal health checkup. Are they comfortable in their home? Are they comfortable in their finances with their health care? Do they feel like they have physical safety? Knowing that a lot of these issues are interconnected. You may go to meet with a client and they may tell you that they're getting evicted. Right now, evictions are on hold. If the courts do reopen, we anticipate that clients will be calling multiple community partners in order to get assistance. Same thing with foreclosure. If you were to select that this client owned their home, the questions that generated would be about foreclosure. Are they behind on their mortgage payments, perhaps? Are they behind on their property taxes? If someone is behind on their rent, they may also be behind on their other bills, whether it be credit cards, medical bills, utilities, or other debts. So we always ask somebody how they feel about their budget. Do they have enough money to make ends meet? Do they feel financially secure? For some reason, has their income been reduced, stopped, garnished? Asking somebody if they are having trouble paying their bills. Does somebody review their credit report regularly? Do they know what's on their credit report? Are they getting any letters or calls about debts they don't understand? Again, they may not be at the point where they're being sued by a creditor or there's a court action in place, but these are all services that our agency can assist with. The next section discusses financial exploitation. If you've asked someone how they feel about their finances and budget, they may tell you that they're behind on their bills, or that they're, they could always have a little bit more. But are they looking at their statements? Is somebody else reviewing them? Are there things that maybe they don't understand and they're afraid to ask for assistance? Is there any reason they don't have full access to their money? Is somebody else controlling their money and not giving them what they need? Do they have any concerns about any financial papers? Are they being pressured to make changes to bank accounts or powers of attorney? Again, what we want to do when we discuss this piece with our older adults is just making sure that they feel like they're protected financially. The next section addresses healthcare concerns. Does somebody have an issue with a medical bill? Do they have coverage but they're not getting services for something they need? Have they been deemed disabled? Is there a spend down? Are there other supports and systems such as the pooled trust that may be able to help them? Do they have any other problems related to healthcare? I do want to point out, I'm going to go back up and give our test pilot just a couple of issues so you can see how it shows up. any additional details you can enter. And when you do select that someone may have an issue, based on the statements and your observations, you can put, if it's help or if they urgently need help. We understand that when we work with older adults, that every issue that they have, there is a level of urgency. So please feel free to select that. You will see once the report is generated that there is a scale from low to high risk. We treat every report the same. Again, understanding that for most of our clients, all of their issues are urgent to them at that moment. You can also select at any time that you have another problem. Maybe it's something that isn't encapsulated above, but someone may say for their healthcare, for example, I may have purchased equipment I don't need and I don't know how to return it, or I'm being charged for medical alert services that I didn't authorize. So anything that may or may not, not quite fit into a box so neatly, please feel free to put that in there as well. The next piece does address abuse and neglect. Is someone coming to you saying they don't feel unsafe, that they're afraid, that they're being physically hurt, that they're being touched without their consent or taking things without asking? For this piece, it's different when you're in someone's home and you can see that maybe they're disheveled in their physical appearance, or their apartment or their home isn't quite as tidy as it should be. Simply asking people if they have enough supports and services in their home and if they feel safe in their home is a good way to address this. Again, we know that you're professionals and that you're able to work with this community and this population. However, just kind of take a step back and ask, are you able to take your medications and clean up? And do you have enough access to food and things that somebody needs to feel safe in their home? Especially during COVID. Right now, seniors are less likely to go to the store, to go out, and also they're less likely to have people come in and help them. But do they need that help, or are they going without? And again, if there's any other concerns, anything that you think our office may be able to assist with or that the client has brought up, and add here in the notes. If you think that there's a bad actor involved and somebody's taking advantage of their client, put their information in here. Anything that can help us reach out if someone is hard of hearing or only wants to be reached by mail or may have another issue, please feel free to put any information that you would normally share with our office when you make a referral in this section. When the report is generated, anytime you enter a flag, it is going to come up here. So we selected some of the consumer flags. So if they were having trouble paying their bills and maybe they wanted to declare bankruptcy. If you're satisfied with everything that you entered, you may continue. Now this here is the area where you can update a photograph or a video. So if you've met with someone or someone has emailed you a notice, a legal notice that they don't understand, or sent you photos of maybe a housing code violation, you're able to upload photographs or any documents that you've been given by that client at this time. And now the report is automatically generated. Again, you will get a copy, and a copy has already been sent to our office at this time. It gives you an overview. And it does say that, they're at high risk. Even though we only selected 2 things, they're at high risk because if they are having trouble paying their bills and they want to declare bankruptcy, they may have some severe financial issues going on. It'll give you another recap. It lets you know that a staff member from Center for Elder Law and Justice will review this report and call within 2 business days. And it just gives an overview of the questions. You're able to print this report either in Word or in PDF format and keep that for your records. A couple things to consider is that, this does not necessarily create a client and attorney relationship. We want to make sure that you understand that when we reach out to these clients that, they may decline our services, but we'll provide them with all the information that they need. At a bare minimum, we're giving them information and some brief advice and counsel. Also, unless we receive additional disclosure, we can't share, if we do open a file for a client, details with your case. So we do ask that you, be patient while we kind of get the consent figured out. And again, please take the tool for a spin. Be creative with your names. Make sure that it's obviously not a real client. Don't put a real phone number, because we do kind of respond to these as quickly as possible. We hope that you enjoy the new version of the New York Elder Law Risk Detector. We've worked with JASA and Pro Bono Net to make some changes to eliminate some duplicate questions and to make the conversation flow, and we hope that you enjoy using it. If you have any questions, as always, please feel free to contact our office. The direct number for myself, Melissa Woods, is 716-853-3087, and I can be reached at extension 206. Thank you.